Greetings and welcome to my dear Gemini. This is Ron from Terror of the Twin Sun. Welcome to the channel. Terror of the Twin Sun is a functional division within the Order of the Twin Sun. I do welcome you. Today I shall focus the energies of Gemini and funnel it into the Singularity, which is essentially a rift or perhaps a particular challenge that may sprout up for the energy of Gemini in the mid-month of February 2021. I do appreciate your constant support of the channel. Um, yeah, thank you for tuning in. Today I should be working from the 1890 deck from BP Gramma, Paris, France, the Grand Tyler deck. And it's 130 years old. We'll go ahead and get started. The third house is open. There's a mode of action here that has to do with release. Release as well as letting go of things that may seem or feel fatalistic or deterministic. Basically, anything that has to do with fate or allegory are being suspended for some time. And this has to do with self-authority as well as the ability to find in a Saturnian or Mercurial way release from the energies. Uranus also very, very strong player here. Release from anything that may seem difficult on the quest towards something a bit more strong in terms of your connection with others and communities, in terms of where you feel fulfilled, and your place within the grander scheme of things. There's an element here of perhaps a release of a workplace or a project, or perhaps release of an idea that you were on a certain path, and now that path is shifting in some sort of way. A great deal of isolation as well as a difficulty on this path or on the path making was at one's hand. Now there's something about this that is helping you to purge and release an expectation, an idea. It may feel like your foot is on one on terra firma, the other on something that is going further deeper into the experiential, something more intuitive or unknown. Okay, and this may cause a great deal of excitement or unexpected sort of calamity, but I think you have more the ability to find the setting foot, the firm footing that you may be seeking. Okay, this also has to do with expectation of that which you may have found to be your stepping stone, the platform on which you've lived your life, the way in which you've lived your life in a practical way for reality's sake. There's something about this that is helping you to alleviate the tensions and the expectations of the past, burn those out, and find purity in some sort of way. There's a lot of purification going on here, doubling up of efforts to get to a place that helps you feel more like you belong there, out of isolation into something more you belong there. and that's something you can partake if you were to take the first steps of self-authority and self-righteousness. um, some of the things that might help you on this path, even though it seems very esoteric, are technological in nature, having to do with the energy of Aquarius strong here. It has to do with detachment as well as streamlining production in a certain way that is Uranian and tied more to the 11th house, or perhaps something that has to do with the ability to pull from the ether certain messages or types of consultation that are coming from elsewhere, either on the internet or through some sort of web that is based on interdimensionality beyond. Okay, that's also a possibility. I did mention the platform, and the platform on which you have conserved your energy, especially from the past year, leading up to now. There's something about that that is being shifted or reconstrued in some sort of way. Something about the cornerstone on which you've lived your life now is coming into question, and the aegis or the shield that you have once lived by now is coming into reckoning. Okay, there's um, mm, some sort of way into which to look into the method or the practical approaches. And when you deal with reality, there's something about you that is becoming empowered in terms of especially the expectations that are derived from the cups cycle. Okay, lots of earth, lots of water, lots of footing, lots of um, delving into more philosophical concepts, trying to recalibrate those, dancing with the axis of Gemini and Sagittarius, big time. In this dance, there's an ability for you to find practicality, conservative ideals, Mercury and Saturn strongly influencing you, as well as, yeah, Mercury, Saturn, big time. Mercury, Saturn, big time. And these two agents are helping you to find your joy, to find a way to release and be independent, and to become a master of some sorts. I'm really enjoying this reading so far. There's a possibility also that you have found a balance between you and an institution, or you and society. This has to do with you learning in some sort of fashion. So I would recommend to be learning as much as you can in terms of self-mastery, or through the student, through the guise or the archetype of the student. There's something about this that will be very, excuse me, fortuitous in terms of the higher ups watching over you, or perhaps being influenced by some sort of grand orchestration that has to do with communities, that has to do with the ability to find fruition, or at least some sort of method to be flexible enough and to be mutable enough to have some sort of change. Okay, this also can point to hard work that is sort of making you shift your energies into something new that has to do with more what society needs, as opposed to what you merely need or what they merely need. It's more of a harmonious aspect here that has to do with core philosophies, you situating yourself against structures, you finding yourself through self-empowerment, through self-mastery. Okay, very, very strongly, very decent reading here. Once again, the Three of Cups showing up. I mentioned it earlier. There is a possibility here that you've made a choice in the past, a choice between yourself and a new liberated version of yourself that is more liberal in nature, that is more free in nature, but then sort of sacrificing one of your projects or one of your situations in order to find a sense of clarity. There's a balance here that is trying to be struck between the powers that be and the powers that you have within that power, which is. So there's a possibility that you might be very much thinking about, excuse me, the choice that you've made, and there is also a possibility that the choice that you've made is also causing a great deal when it has to do with your new truth versus old stated or old fashioned conservative ways of thinking that you're fighting against. The idea here is sacrifice. And you have to sacrifice a mode of thinking from the past, or sacrifice a mode of being within the past in terms of commitments or realities, your workplace, career, whatever, your projects. Something has to go, and once you give, then you give to yourself, and then there's an ability to find, excuse me, clarity, big time clarity. Okay. One of the big operating factors is your own health, either that being mental or physical, being affected by your path. Okay, something about it was very cold or isolated, and there's a need to find footing in that respect. If you look to the future, remember to partition and to find a way to allocate your time, your resources, as well as know where you stand. There's something about you that is going to find that you have to let either your guard down, or you have to open up in order to find, uh, in your search for new land, to find that which you may be searching for. There also is something about the activated mind that it may seem like fear, but it's or paranoia, but it's more just intuition. Okay. The thing that I mentioned about the Nine of Swords, it's not always just fear; it's also sensitivity. So there's a strong complication here that has to do with sensitivity to thoughts of others, or sensitivity of thoughts and ways of thinking that are within yourself but are mirrored by others, that need to be sort of partitioned. And you have to set clear boundaries with those parts. Okay. The quest for truth is here, though, and it's tied directly to cooperation with others, hard work within yourself, as well as hard work in order to make your health better, so that you find a sense of joy in the future. That is what I'm seeing. As far as advice goes, there is a possibility for you to find purity if you refrain, or if you abstain from others. There's something about this that helps you to find an emotional security that is beyond all else, and should be your springboard for anything else that is new, especially truths that are incoming, in particular singular truth that helps you to conquer any projections in terms of psychological projections. Okay, that is what I'm seeing. I do hope that resonates, because that's a very good and positive reading. Um, More of a spiritual reading for the singularity, but yeah, I do thank you for your constant support. Please, toss a like up there if you like. Otherwise, I shall see you in March. Wow, this year is passing by already. Bye.